こんにちは。
Hello, everyone.
こんにちは。聞こえてますでしょうか。こんにちは。
Can you hear?
はい、ありがとうございま
Hello. Thank you very much.
す。はい、日本の皆さん、こんにちは。そして、グッドモーニ
Everyone
ング。
from Japan, hello and good afternoon, good morning,
司
everyone.
会を進めさせていただきます。
I will be the facilitator for today.
アセンティアホールディングスの
I'm Matsumoto from Asentia Holdings TOKYO8 Global.
from Asentia Holdings and board member of TOKYO8 Global. 本日のウェビナーは
Today's
世
seminar
界中から注目を
is
浴びているリジェネレティブ農業
on the spotlight of the world on the regenerative agriculture that is being implemented by TOKYO8 and its results. So everyone from
画
Japan
面の右下の部分にですね
and also everyone as a whole, please look at the interpretation mark at the earth map. You can choose for the language
海外
here.
からのご参加の皆さんは英語、日本の皆さんは日本語もしくはオリジナル言語でお選びいただいてお
You
楽し
can
みい
choose
ただ
your
きたいと
language
思います。
with this option.
今こちらのプログラムが映ってますでしょうかね。プログラム
So you can see the program.
前半は日本
So you can see the program here. The first half is about Japanese results
イタリアンシェフ
on
サルバ
the
トーレ・クオモさんからの発表
on Japanese results on
土壌についての解説
eggplant farmer and Italian chef Salvatore Cuomo. Then you will have a story about the science consultant Goto
マラビ
on the soil
ニジェール
and explanation.
でお届け
Then
させて
you will have
TOKYO8
TOKYO8 compost.
2021年の展開当初
For the second half of the seminar, you will have from overseas Indonesia, Mauritania, Malawi, and then Nigeria.
現状毎年この8月
So
2月
we plan to we started the webinar from TOKYO8 in 2021 from the beginning of TOKYO8, and we plan to do a webinar every February and August. Today's webinar is on both is not only on the results of cultivation, but also what is a good vegetable for cooking, and also about the improvement of the soil. So we are finding new thema to share with you. Today's webinar is for today's webinar. The people that are participating are for some companies from all over the world, and we think that it might help them. This seminar might help them to solve issues that they have. So we want to start about the Taihei Ishida, the CEO of TOKYO8 Global presentation.
ちょっとのっけから、ちょっとトラブルがございまして、スケジュールを思いっきりちょっと変更させていただきます。最初のプログラムといたしまして、料理業界のですね、料理業界からのご発表としまして、
So we have a small trouble So the program will change a little bit. So we will start with Mr. Salvatore Como, Italian chef. So maybe people in Japan know about him. So we will start with his presentation first. Actually, Mr. Salvatore Como, it's been more than 30 years that he's been in Japan. And for example, his name is with pizza delivery, but actually he lives in Oita prefecture, and now he's growing his own ingredient with TOKYO8 over there. So let's start with Mr. Salvatore Cromo presentation.
我々としては、正直言って、最初、
For us, to be honest, it's something that we are frequently asked. In terms of rating, I felt something, but I had no expectations until trying. I'm sorry about that, but I don't mean that in a weird way. I do not intend to make you angry. I get asked about this a lot. Even though during the actual trial, I thought honestly that it was kind of a lie. That's the impression I had when doing the trial. After all, what we saw during the trial for spinach, the vigor of the leaves was different, and the stem too was different. Basically, in Japan, the seeds that are used are usually sweet, right? It gives me a sweet taste, and from the part where we used TOKYO8, the vigor of the leaves was completely different. So then we tried to make a little sense out of it. It is not just about the looks of it. Even if it looks good, there is no guarantee for the taste. Indeed, it was as if the way the stem was absorbed the nutrients was completely different. As for the taste, first of all, the spinach that is sold in the supermarket, when I eat it, it feels a little bit sweet. And that's not the kind of thing we want. It lacks the natural taste without any additives. Well, that's the taste of the part of the usual spinach. But the one with TOKYO8 was a little bit strong. I guess it was a wild taste, or maybe the taste of the soil was strong. We see it as because of the nutrients that were absorbed. The taste was something that could not be compared with the normal one. So at the time, the sensation was completely changed, completely different. In our case, our greatest way of evaluating is the taste. After all, everyone just looks at the appearances. They want vegetables that all look the same. But when it comes to the taste, about the taste of the soil, as for vegetables with strong taste, I don't find them much anymore. Of course, I still serve them, but it became such a situation where we always have to offer it to our customers for a higher price. So when we have the real thing in front of us, because those kind of tastes have disappeared so far, so I'm searching for it more and more in places now. But as for this time, the results, results is not yet found. In various ways, maybe farmers would also find meaning in their work. So in the end, we noticed that at the end of the day, we are doing the same business in the same line. The employees were doing it, and they were also chefs. So they did it while doing other jobs. And as a result, even though we do the same work and do the same thing for the same amount of time, the results showed that the taste was good regardless of the 40% increase in yields. I felt that this was probably a pretty good story for people who are engaged in farming. Naturally, we choose the one with a strong taste, with also a stronger stem, and the one with more vigor in the leaves. So having this product in front of me and for the crops to become like this, seeing that difference after experiencing it myself, it's a very big thing. When I made it, I boiled it, of course, and the small spinach, the stem doesn't hold itself. It doesn't hold itself. But on the other hand, the ones grown with TOKYO8, they also had to be boiled first and stir-fried. And the firmness of the stem is still strong. In that sense, it was very good, and we felt like we had grown the best leafy plants. I haven't seen such vegetables recently, and I was even more satisfied because we had made them ourselves. So when the leaves are too strong, we get told that you get a bitter taste, right? Well, actually, they haven't gone to the point where they get bitter. Oh, so there's not that much bitterness. There's no bitterness at all. Somehow it feels like it was taking the nutrients from the soil. Of course, if bitterness comes out, we won't be able to use it anymore as it is. So I think it would have become a different thing. But after all, in that condition, I tried to fry it. I properly boiled it and stir-fried it. And even if we just stir-fry it, we will probably come out with the most flavor. They feel quite close to the vegetables of Europe. And the soil where we were growing was used for fruits. But still, it was left to rest all the time. So it might be one of the reasons why it was good. The soil itself had not been used for many years. Although there is some strong soil, but even if you do use it afterwards, you can still wonder whether you would get close to the results as the ones that we got. So, indeed, one thing that we're aiming is, of course, I'm not in Japan right now, but I'm out for work overseas. And the biggest problem is that we cannot get the right ingredients. If we had an environment where people could use this fertilizer to make their own vegetables and fruits locally, I feel that it would be a very strong thing. It would become a very strong thing. I feel that if we make it work, it would be a very interesting opportunity to not only tell the customers about cooking, well, but also about the part that provides the vegetables. Apart from that, this time I'm doing the same trial by using a new onion. We grew some red and white onions, so now we are planning to serve that during the gala dinner. As for the cooking method, it is sauce made of only onions and olive oil and beef tongue. These are the only ingredients that are included. We don't use any other food materials because that is the theme, to cook with these ingredients. If it's not really a powerful ingredient, then is this what it is? Well, thanks to these onions that I feel like it's okay to have just 2 or 3 ingredients. The power of these onions softens the beef tongue, and with the power of onions, the flavor of the sauce yeah, if the onions reach a certain line, it tastes like seaweed. So if you boil it for 4 or 5 hours, it becomes really sticky. And then we season it and we put it in the oven for hours, and the extract that comes out of it feels like honey. So we usually infuse the onions with seasoning and combine them to make the sauce again, and with other ingredients, and make several flavors and combine them to create another flavor. So we do that when the ingredients are not that good and it is not too sustainable, of course. But this time around, the onions had very big results. We only made about 200 kgs, but I have already started some more trials. We think we're going to have great results, and I feel very satisfied. So we are not really farmers, so obviously you have to see it as something done by amateurs. And if us amateurs can do this much, I think having a pro doing it must yield even amazing results.
はい、失礼いたしました。イタリアンレストランのシェフのサルバトーレ・クオモさんの実際に東京8を農業として使ったご感想と。
It was a presentation from the chef Salvatore Cuomo. So talking about the taste and being able to make the vegetables by himself and what kind of result he was about to get. So as for the presentation of the beginning, the greetings from the CEO of TOKYO8. So we will put the video of Mr. Ishida Taihei, CEO of TOKYO8 Global.
Thank you for joining the TOKYO8 webinar today despite your busy schedule. I am the CEO of Tokyo Bacteria Lab and TOKYO8 Global, and my name is Taihei Ishida. Tokyo Bacteria Lab is a project name within Tayuka company, so please understand that Tayuka and Tokyo Bacteria Lab are the same thing. I suppose you have joined today for various reasons. Maybe you are looking for a new farming method, you may be interested in fertilizers or materials, or maybe you want to know the methods of small and medium-sized enterprises like Tokyo Bacteria Lab and why they aim for international business, especially in Southeast Asia and Africa. I hope that this webinar responds to your various and individual needs. Last year, we hosted an official side event at TOKYO8, sponsored by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and promoted our collaboration with young entrepreneurs in Africa. And in February this year, we also held a webinar on the update of TOKYO8. In both events, we received a lot of interest and praise for TOKYO8, which we are very honored. This year marks the 60th anniversary of our parent company, Taiyo Yuka. This company, founded by my father, started with a waste oil recycling business at a time when concepts such as SDGs did not exist yet, and it has been recycling various industrial wastes. In other words, the core of our business has been 60 years of resource circulation and environmental problem solving. This is how TOKYO8 was born. We are also heavily involved in urban sewage sludge treatment business, where we encountered the amazing power of microorganisms in this business. And from this, we were able to develop TOKYO8 and its business model through our research. As you know, the current world is greatly affected by COVID-19 and the Ukraine-Russia war and other issues. And amongst them, agriculture, which is the primary industry in the world, is suffering a lot of damage, and a lot of people are suffering because of this. So not only have agricultural materials and chemical fertilizers become expensive and difficult to obtain, but also the war has caused a decline in agricultural production and paralysis of logistics. This has resulted in serious food shortages in some African countries. In addition, natural disasters such as climate change, droughts, floods, etc. are occurring over the world, causing great difficulties for cultivation. So the TOKYO8 business model is not just about increasing agricultural productivity, but also reducing costs, activating soil, and promoting disaster resilience, and also providing economic support and environmental problem solving for farmers that are struggling. It may also lead to solving many social problems. For example, it may contribute to solving issues of child nutrition and health. It was because we had such a vision that we were able to receive the Minister of Foreign Affairs Award at the 60th Japan SDGs Award this year. But this is not something that we could do alone as a company. It could not have been realized without the cooperation of the students from various African countries who we have accepted as interns so far. The internship students understood the agricultural problems that their home countries faced, as well as the social, economic, and environmental issues that they were willing to solve them with TOKYO8. And so this gave birth to a true business model. So currently, TOKYO8's business model is starting in various countries around the world. And in some countries, it is already being franchised. So in today's webinar, we would like to share with you about the value of the business model that we have built with the help of African interns. That is from waste oil recycling, started by the founder of TOKYO8, which was born by utilizing the amazing power of microorganisms discovered through sewage sludge treatment in Tokyo. We would also like to tell you about the ideal TOKYO8 vision that we aim for. Finally, I hope that today's webinar will be useful to you in some way. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ishida. So we will start the presentation for today. So for today, there's a lot of limitation on the people that could participate to the event, and we want to share about the implementation of TOKYO8 more and more. And so for the first presentation, during the typhoon number 6, it's about Mr. Yoshi Chef from Okinawa, Miyakojima. So he suffered a lot through the typhoon. And we want to share a lot the newest information about the typhoon.
だからそういった面であれですよね。この、もともとなんか土がね、ちょっと、まあ、固まりにくくなるっていう部分とか、この、日照りが続くと表面がもう、ガッチガチになるんですけど、焼き物みたいになって。でそういったことが、やっぱり起こりにくくなりましたよね。東京8マークとか。これでちょっとひびが割れてくるんですよね。
はい。
で、これただひび割れてるだけで、
はい。
これ東京8巻いてるところの土壌ですけど、
はい。
実際の土は、
はい。
全然、この、サラサラなんですよ。
But in fact, the soil is completely smooth. Right. That's right. The surface is not sticking at all. I thought it was big, that it could be loosened quickly by hand. Until now, it was still like a stone slab, like a lump of stone. I see. So I heard that it has become easier to get heated. So when high temperature is applied, it is good that when you apply the seedlings immediately, you need to get time. If it's hot, the heat gets back bad as if it's like a powder. You can feel that there are things like that, yeah, being dissolved. And after the typhoon around here, the maize was completely withered and it fell down. As you can see, it rained heavily and the tree here, started to wither. So you can see the upper part is withering now. And here you can see that some green like this. This root is still alive, isn't it? Indeed, it is alive. So this root came back after spraying TOKYO8. I see. The opposite side is where I haven't applied TOKYO8. This is where I haven't applied TOKYO8. All the roots are withered here. Even this new root here has withered. So there's probably no more roots and it is all dead for a very long time. It's dead. But this line here is where I sprayed TOKYO8. As you can see it still has healthy roots. So I think it revived when I forgot about it. It's like this. It is completely withered. It's hard to identify it anymore, but it was originally an edible flower, a kind of edible flower, but it's now completely withered. But where TOKYO8 was sprayed, it is coming back to life, as you can see. This is white zinnia. It's a kind of edible flower. It's like this, and it is still rooted, and it is very strong thanks to TOKYO8. However, I will not forget to send you 2 boxes of TOKYO8. Yes. Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
ありがとうございます。宮古島。
Thank you very much. So this is Miyakojima from Mr. Yoshi from Miyakojima. So for the next presenter, it's about someone inside the participant. Is there anyone already trying TOKYO8? Can you try to put to raise your hand if you do? So, as I see, there's Mr. Takemori from Obihiro. So, Mr. Takemori, can you, how is it about the usage of TOKYO8? About in 1 minute. Is the screen like this okay? Okay, so it's okay. So from me, I've become a retail shop of TOKYO8, and I'm in Tokachi, Obihiro, and farmers from this place is using TOKYO8. But they are using it on beets, and we used it during nursery. Sorry, I didn't prepare any picture, but during the seedlings, the nursery, and when we put the seedlings to the field, so both from we did both the comparison on TOKYO8 and the control. So the one with TOKYO8 was had the very different roots, and we could see that all the roots were longer and also wider. And for the control one, the one that is not using TOKYO8, wasn't like this. And from now, we're looking forward we are looking for a very good harvest because the nursery was very healthy. So, is there anybody else from domestic Japan to share a comment about TOKYO8? Is Mr. Hirayabashi here today? If you are here, please remove your mute and talk. Chikara from Hirayabashi Busan desu. So can you hear me? So my company is Hirayabashi Busan, and today, this year, in Chiba, we tried on green onions and melon, but also on a flower called Kingyoso. And where we saw the results, after that we saw that there's a presentation on eggplant. But from our side, we also had some results on eggplant, where we had some damage on the crops, and the one with TOKYO8 were the one recovering faster. Sorry, it's very short information, but yes. So thank you very much. So we want to go back to the presentation. So first presentation is someone from Fukuoka, someone doing eggplant. So Mr. Nogami from Yame City, Fukuoka Prefecture. So Mr. Takei from Tokyo Bacteria Labo, Tayuka, will be giving the presentation in the stead.
皆様、こんにちは。こんばんはですね。こんばんは。
So, hello everyone. I'm Shun Takei from Tokyo Bacteria Labo, and I will be giving this presentation. This time I will be introducing the case study of Mr. Nogami, a farmer in Yame City, Fukuoka. So thank you very much for your cooperation. Please wait a moment.
はい、先ほどもお話があったように、ナスはいろんな成果が上がっていると。
As we said before, we had a lot of kind of results from all over the place about eggplant. So we are looking forward to this presentation. So for this presentation, Mr. Mr. Takei was able to get information from this eggplant farmer. But yes.
固まってしまっているという。
We have a small issues.
はい、じゃあちょっとまた順番を少し変えてですね、次後藤さんの発表の方に移りたいと思いますが、後ほど後藤さんの後にまたナスのお話には戻りたいと思います。実は東京8についてはもう栽培成果の発表は。
We are having a small trouble on the presentation, so we want to do on Mr. Goto's presentation. So we have a lot of presentation on the effects, like for example the yield and so on. But we want to explain a little bit more about the effects of TOKYO8 itself. So, for example, before we had some reports on Miyakojima that was deeply affected by the typhoon. But also, after you will see a presentation on compost. So this is why Mr. Goto will explain about what kind of effects TOKYO8 has on the soil in the scientific matter. So, Mr. Goto, please. So,
画面の一番最後の画面になっちゃったんですけどね。ご清聴ありがとうございました。はい、ちょっとね、この手作業らしさがすごく出ちゃってます。
Yes, please wait a moment as we put everything together.
はい、じゃあ後藤さんよろしくお願いいたします。
Please, Goto-san, start your presentation. So, I'm Goto from Tokyo Bacterial Labo, and I will explain briefly about how soil microorganisms function. So I want to explain on this kind of content. So first of all, I want to show you an illustration of the element cycle. So crops are consumed by humans and animals, and all the residues and excretion become organic fertilizer. But in that way, most of the crops, they cannot get this element. So soil microorganisms, they will mineralize all this organic matter. And thanks to that, the crop can absorb that. So the plants, they take these mineralized nutrients and synthesize organic matter to grow. So communities are formed in the process of organic decomposition by soil organism. So on the next, I would like to explain the function, how the soil microorganism function when they promote humus formation and soil composting. So humic substances are relatively easy to degrade. So they are carbohydrates as well, and proteins. So, for example, they come from biomass such as fallen leaves and compost, which are decomposed by filamentous fungi and aerobic bacteria, followed by cellulose and other fibers by actinomycete. And finally, the last step is lignin that is very difficult to decompose, and it's broken down by fungi and mushrooms. In the case of compost, the stage of fiber decomposition is called bokashi, and the stage of lignin decomposition is when it gets ripe. So for humic substance, they also have the function of binding particles together, and it said that 1% increase of in humus increase the soil CEC by approximately 2 mu³ per 100 grams. And that increase in humus also increase water and fertilizer retention. Additional point that can be a solution to climate change. Also considering the CO2 cycle between soil plants and the atmosphere, when the plants remains and are aerobically decomposing the soil, CO2 is released in the atmosphere, and the released CO2 is organically synthesized by plants to build up bodies. What should be considered in this cycle is that the plant-driven humic substance can be converted as organic carbon, and humus remains organic carbon in the soil for a long time because of its persistent nature. It's said that the amount of organic carbon in the world soil is 2 to 3 times the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. If the organic carbon of the soil were to increase by 0.4 each year, as proposed by the 4 per mil initiative at the COP21, this will offset the CO2 emission from human activities. We believe that the humic substances are at the forefront of this process. If we can create a mechanism to increase humus, it will be a major solution to climate change. Next, we will discuss about the symbiosis and endosymbiosis. So, VA mycorrhizal fungi are a group of filamentous fungi that grow mycelium from spores and infect plant roots from mycelia, so also dendrites, that branch out into cells, which then grow to form sac-like cysts. You know the small cysts on the roots. The mycelium then extend to distant areas where the host roots cannot reach and transport nutrients and water to the plant. The host plant, on the other hand, synthesizes glucose and supplies it to the via mycorrhizal fungi. Microorganisms with this function and antagonistic mechanism are called PGPR and PGPF. And they are abundant around the roots and coexist with the host plant. So this is more or less about the fungi and the host plant relationship. So next, let me explain about delicious crops and how they make their test. In a survey conducted by Professor Motoki Kubo from Mitsumeikan University, it was confirmed that in the soil where chemical fertilizer and pesticides have been used continuously, the number of microorganisms has been reduced to 1/10 of that is originally in the soil. Since chemical fertilizers are inorganic, they are also easily absorbed by the plant, and the yield of the crop increase in the beginning. This only makes the crop grow faster, but the original flavor is lost because there are no minerals and vitamins which are supplied to the crop by the microorganism, breaking down the organic matter. If only inorganic fertilizer are used in the soil, there is no food for microorganisms, which leads to a drastic decrease in number of microorganisms and the loss of humus and crumb-like structure, as explained in the previous section, which makes it very difficult for the crops to grow. On the other hand, when organic fertilizer are used, the number of microorganisms increase and the number of microorganisms diversifies. The granulation of the soil is better, and fertilizer and water retention is better as well. So it leads to a better environment created by microorganisms, and it also helps to have tasty and long-lasting crops. So as the next topic of the presentation, we will have promotion of organic matter decomposition, promotion of humus formation and granulation, symbiosis of endogenous growth disease control, tasty crops and original taste. The diversity of microorganisms results in a fertile, healthy soil, and the crops that grow there are healthier, last longer, and have an inherently delicious flavor. Finally, I would like to give you a little information about the research that we are currently working on. We are trying various test methods for the prevention of pests and disease using TOKYO8. Based on pathogen and strains received from user, we have confirmed a certain level of deterrent effect for some of the strains, Fusarium, strawberry and tarsnot, monoamine fungus. We are also isolating a fungi that grow only on specific insect species. Regarding carbon sequestration, we are expecting that more organic carbon can be sequestered by promoting humidification by microorganisms, focusing on the fact that nearly 70% of inorganic soils worldwide sequester more carbon from humus than carbon dioxide in the gas phase. And that Japan has a lot of black soil with a lot of humus, which easily fixes carbon. We are expecting that this will lead to the storage of more organic carbon through the promotion of humidification by microorganisms. We would like to check if acclimated TOKYO8 works in arid region of Africa, but also cold region of Hokkaido to sort out the condition. Yesterday, for example, we asked ourselves if spinach, a vegetable for raw consumption with low oxalate content, could be grown in TOKYO8. We would like to promote development that meets the needs of the world, such as the possibility of growing spinach with low oxalic acid in TOKYO8. So thank you very much for your presentation. So there's a lot that we still not know about microorganisms. So we have a lot to look forward on this. So if with the power of microorganisms we can contribute to farming or contribute to combat or adapt to combat climate change. So now we go back to the presentation of the eggplant farmer. So please, Mr. Takei, present about the eggplant farmer. So, hello everyone, and sorry for the issues just before. So I am Shuntake from Bacteria Labo, and I will be giving this presentation. So this time I will be introducing a case study from Mr. Nogami, a farmer in Yame City, Fukuoka Prefecture. So thank you very much for listening. So Mr. Nogami is a farmer that grows eggplants in Yame, Fukuoka Prefecture. He was introduced to TOKYO8 last March by our distributor, the company that is called Noken Sangyo. Mr. Nogami has been experimenting with several commercial products such as microorganism, fertilizer, and also calcium agent on his eggplant, and he has decided to apply TOKYO8 to one of his greenhouses as part of the experiment. The reason why Mr. Nogami is experimented with so many products is that he wishes to find an effective cropping pattern that suits his fields. Mr. Nogami eggplant is grown in what is called long-term overwintering cropping system. This is a cultivation method in which eggplants are grown in greenhouses for about 1 year. As long as the temperature is maintained at a moderate level, eggplant can be planted once and harvested continuously throughout the year. However, producing fruit is a very energy-intensive process for the plant. Therefore, if the plant bears too many fruits, they will lose their vigor, and the fruits and leaves will lose their color and gloss. And it's a symptom called fruiting fatigue. Mr. Nogami has been in eggplant greenhouse all the year to adjust the fruiting and temperature. But in the end of May, the leaves and the stems were becoming lighter in colors, and the flower began to drop even when the buds appeared. So this is a symptom of fruiting fatigue. At that time, we applied TOKYO8, and to our surprise, the leaves and the fruit became lush, and the eggplant recovered about 2 weeks. In addition, while harvesting, while the harvest usually fluctuate within a month, June remained high in every week, making us the highest yielding farmer in local area. In the end, the crop yielded about 600 kilograms for the entire year, which was 30% more than the normal crop, the one without any TOKYO8. So Mr. Nogami attributes the increase in the yield to the fact that the plant remained healthy for a long period of time, allowing them to continue to produce fruit. The reason for the increase in the yield is said to be in the roots of the crop. Usually they do not absorb enough water and fertilizer. As the plant themselves, they lose strength little by little. So Mr. Nogami also added enough fertilizer to the soil to nourish the plants, but it was difficult for the plant to absorb the fertilizer that has not been completely decomposed by the time they were still healthy. TOKYO8 is a product that specializes in transforming the nutrients contained in the soil into a form that is easily absorbed by the plant. The soil nutrient data shows that the nutrients contained in the soil are reduced after harvest, indicating that the nutrients are decomposed by the microorganism, and they have been absorbed by the plant. TOKYO8 has the effect of also softening the soil and making it crumble-like, which means that the soil is now in perfect condition, and even tired plant can grow. As a result, continuous harvesting has became possible, and a 30% yield increase was expected. Mr. Nogami also commented, the plants have become more vigorous since we started using TOKYO8, and because we are using the naturally occurring power of microorganisms, it does not seem as we are putting too much pressure on the plants and the soil. So Mr. Nogami was so pleased with the unexpected result that he decided to try TOKYO8 on the this planting season in August. This time he will apply TOKYO8 earlier than last time, around November, when the first fertilizer is added to the field. Mr. Nogami plans to research the most effective way to use TOKYO8 in his field. So in closing, please have the word of Mr. Nogami about TOKYO8. So, yes, I become a YouTuber. So I really think that I will keep using TOKYO8.
以上で発表の方を終わりたいと思います。ありがとうございました。
So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for the presentation. So the eggplant farmer from Fukuoka, Mr. Tanogami, thank you very much. So, yes, sorry, the order of the presentation changed. So now we will go to the compost presentation. So this is we will start the presentation of Zushi Garden company. So please try to remove your mute. Hello. So please start your presentation.
では資料はこっちの方で作業です。はい。はい。
まずは私の方から。
So first, I would like to conduct an interview with Zushi Garden about that is a composting company. But first of all, I would like to explain about Zushi Garden. Also, you're doing an interview, right? So, first of all, Zushi Garden is a landscaping company whose concept is to create gardens in harmony with nature. The company is committed to initiatives that lead to the creation of a sustainable environment. So, for 15 years, Zushi Garden has been recycling and pruning leftovers of leaves and flowers into compost and firewood for sale. They are also selling the vegetables grown with the compost. The president of Zushi Garden also wondered, can I make compost in my own garden, the way I make compost at Zushi Garden? So the company's president idea was to develop and produce and sell a two-tiered composting system. After the composting system is installed, the customer can compost household waste and use it to grow plants, fields and planter in the garden, creating cyclical lifestyle. Now I would like to leave the floor to Ms. Miura of Zushi Garden and Mr. Harikai. So it's been a long time, Ms. Miura.
わかりました。すみません。はい。
So,
少し前に三浦さんの寿司ガーデンさんの方にお邪魔させていろいろ見させて。
So I was able to visit you at Zushi Garden, right? And from now, we want to talk about using TOKYO8 in compost. So please, let's start. So, how did you hear about TOKYO8 and how did you decide to use TOKYO8? So, we first encountered TOKYO8 at the Nogyo Week, Agriculture Week, last October. So Zushi Garden has been selling compost for 4 years. So we thought TOKYO8, which improves the soil and odor through the power of microorganisms, might be useful for composting. So, you really have a long historic of selling compost, right? So, what are the most common problem with composting usually? So there's globally 5 big problems. So first one is the small flies, then also the midgets in summer. And third is the slow decomposition in winter. 4 is also the constant smell, and 5 is when it's very slow to become fully mature for the compost. So you have a lot of issues with compost, but what is the most important one out of those? So actually, we are having problem with all of them, and most of the people, they are making compost for their own garden. And recently, many people and communities activities have started composting to reduce waste and return to the earth the nutrients. So we want that composting to be accessible to everyone. So this is why we want to solve these 5 problems.
実際にですね、TOKYO8を使用した効果についてお伺いしていこうと思います。
So from now on, we want to talk about the results about TOKYO8. So what kind of result did you get with TOKYO8 at Zushi Garden? So it's very incredible, actually. So some of the basic problem we having a lot of trouble with, actually it was solved by TOKYO8. So within TOKYO8, there's a lot of very strong microorganisms, and they all work very hard to decompose our compost.
ありがとうございます。そんなに活用いただいてありがとうございます。それではですね、その中でも、
And thank you very much for your explanation. So when you make compost at home, can you tell us about the most important, how much nutrition it contains? To make compost, first you need to make a hole and put the garbage inside. Then around the hole, you use TOKYO8 at 10 times dilution. Then you stir this TOKYO8 and the garbage in the hole. So with the compost made in-house, what kind of nutrients it gets? So actually, one thing is usually when you decompose compost, you have very few nitrogen. So when we compare TOKYO8 to the different produce compost, the presence of indigenous bacteria in the compost that has been used for 7 years, for example, and the amount of other nutrients, it can be used without any problem with regular compost.
次より規模の大きなですね。
So, can you explain a little about the compost that is aimed for the store? So, what kind of raw garbage that you use for the compost produced in the store? So, actually, we used a lot of waste from a bakery. So we got a lot of eggshells and so on from this bakery. So it really depends on the store. So indeed, we have a lot of difference according to the store, right? So I heard that it was very hard to decompose eggshells. Do you have any comments on this? So about eggshells, so it's very important to stir the waste and break it down into smaller pieces before putting in the compost hole. When you use eggshells in the compost, you will have more calcium in the end. So, which of the problems that you told beforehand about the 5 one, which one was the biggest one? So usually it's the slow decomposition of eggshells and onion skills. So thank you very much. So next topic is for the very large-scale compost maker. So one of your clients is Kamakura Elementary School, Faculty of Education, Yokohama National University. So we would like to share about the comment of Mrs. Mochizuki, a nutritionist that has been managing the compost since its installation. So in Kamakura Elementary School, they prepare about 670 school lunches every day, and they produce also 20 to 25 kg of vegetables and fruit peels and children's leftover every day. Prior to the installation of composting, the school relied on garbage incineration in plant in Kamakura to incinerate food scrap, but also composting system was installed when the incinerator plant in Kamakura city ceased to operate. Now they have succeeded in composting about 4 tons of cooking residues and leftover per year. So what do the elementary students think about the results of TOKYO8? So after using TOKYO8, we have received reports of that the decomposition was faster, and at the same time there was less smells, and the issues with the small flies was easier to manage. There was also lesser midget than before they started using TOKYO8. In a place like a school, where a large amount of food waste is generated, it's said to be difficult to manage, but because it's not possible to store the food in large quantities, and hygiene must also be taken into consideration. However, we have found that composting can be smoothly measured by using TOKYO8. Before installation of composting, the waste disposal cost was 42 yen per kilogram, but now it's possible to reduce the annual waste disposal cost by 150,000 yen, resulting in budget reduction, which is also helpful to the school management. The compost made from the school lunches is also used for the student to learn how to grow crops. And the compost is used to create a learning environment that transcends subject area and grade levels and is highly valued for its educational value. Crops grown in the school field are sometimes included in the children's school lunches, and a cycle of resources has been created. So compost is made from the leftover from school lunches and grown, and the food is grown and harvested while and using the compost once again. So this is a very interesting way of putting composting, right? So at last, we would like to ask about the next usage of TOKYO8 from now on and its future. So we have learned a lot from talking with Zushi Garden during the past year.
はい。例えば農家さんだと、
So for farmers, for example, they are facing the cost of fertilizer that is raising. So using TOKYO8 to compost vegetable that will not become actual products, the one that you cannot sell, then using them as fertilizer might help to reduce the cost of fertilizer. So thank you very much. So right now, as the results of the experiment, we hope that more and more stores will expand the usage of compost and composting. So first we want people to use it at a small scale with a household food scrap, and then experiencing composting will lead them to reduce the garbage that they produce, but also participate to the SDGs. So will you continue to use TOKYO8 in the future? So yes, of course. So every day is a new experiment, and there's also always changes in terms of temperature and humidity and waste volume. But with TOKYO8, composting is possible through the 4 seasons. So you just need to dig a hole, dispose the waste, sprinkle TOKYO8 on top of it, dilute it by 10 times, and then allow the soil and the garbage to blend all together in the hole. So then you can cover you can cover the hole. And then in summer, it might only take 5 days. So we hope that those who are already composting and those who are going to start compost will keep in mind that the microorganisms TOKYO8 are mixing with the soil and letting it sit. So we hope that you get a lot of ideas from this presentation. So I'm very surprised about the results. So today there's a lot of people participating from all over the world, and some people have a very big issue about waste management. So today there's even like almost 70 people participating. So this might be a way of going through the problem of environmental waste and so on. So do you have if you have any question, you can use the Q&A button. So if you have any question about this, you can ask both in English and Japanese, and we will answer those questions at the end of the presentation. So. こちらはですね、個別、今日ご参加の方メールアドレスいただいておりますので。So we will be able to share the data of the seminar after the end, because we already have your email address. So is there any other question?
Alicia, can I speak? Do you have some question?
Yes, hello, please, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, good evening. Please, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, please.
Thank you. Good evening.
Do you have any question?
Yes. I think TOKYO8 is really exciting, an idea. So I've been working hard to see how possible it will be to get it to Ghana. I'm from Ghana. So my question is simply about the possibility of getting maybe a sample to try in Ghana.
私の質問は非常にシンプルで、サンプルをガーナで試せないかということなんですけれども。
So presently, I found a company, a group, who are going to provide me with a farm where we'll be able to run both one field with TOKYO8 and then another field without the TOKYO8 to be able to convince the community. And then from there, we'll be able to move on to see how best we can start local production if we get a franchise. So I want to know if it will be possible to get a sample.
Yeah. ありがとうございます。Okay. We can provide some sample. And
私の方で会社を見つけて、そこから農地を借りる契約ということは段取りが進んでいるんですけれども、実際にフランチャイズの契約を結んでサンプルを試すということが可能かどうかをお聞きしたいです。
Yes, we can possible. So after this webinar, please send a survey and please your address and name and question. And after that, we contact you. We will contact you.
はい。このウェビナーの後で、調査報告書みたいなものを、軽いものを送ってください。それで、私どもの方からご連絡を差し上げます。
はい。日本時間6時半。
So we are 6:30. So let's start the second part of the seminar. So before Corona, we had a lot of we had a lot of people that were using TOKYO8 and had a lot of opinions. And now we have Mr. Matsuhashi from Obihiro that wants to share his opinion. So, hello. So, Mr. Matsuhashi, you are doing agriculture on a very large surface area, right? So, why have you been using TOKYO8? Do you have? Can you share with us the reason? So, the reason why I've been using TOKYO8 is actually my company has a field of 50 hectares. And at first it was for the soil preparation. And we are using three machines. And to increase the diversity of the soil. So, for example, we are already trying to do organic farming, but we are using a lot of kind of organic fertilizer. So not simple fertilizer, but green fertilizer. And at our company, we also raise beef. So since it's Japanese beef, we also give a special feed with a lot of microorganisms inside that help with the fermentation. So the funny thing is, from the beginning, the manure of our beef has almost no smell. So this is very good for the field as well. So when we are in soil preparation, we use TOKYO8 and we use a 6,000 liter sprayer. We mix it as a 100 times dilution and we spray it on the whole field. So you've used the TOKYO8 this year. So what kind of results did you had? So aside from the green manure, we are actually harvesting potatoes. So I was thinking that all the root vegetables, we could have a very good result with TOKYO8. So we can see that there's a lot of tubers of potato than usually. So we don't have the yield yet, but from what I saw today in the field, I could see a very big difference. And for the timing of spraying, I used it about every 3 weeks and also before the flowers open. So I also give TOKYO8 before the potatoes became bigger. So thank you very much for your report. So this is a very hot information from today. So thank you very much for sharing. So let's start with the program of of the second part. So this will be the speech of Mr. Ishida, the managing director of Toyota. So please, Mr. Ishida, start your presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I am Yohei Ishida from Tokyo Bacteria Lab. Thank you very much for attending our TOKYO8 webinar today. This webinar has already been held for the fourth time since its start the year before last year. So, whether you're a regular attendee or a newcomer, we hope that you will find TOKYO8 still interesting and appealing. This time, we will not only talk about the development of TOKYO8, but also about the actual users of TOKYO8. I would like to start by explaining about the TOKYO8 business. Currently, from 2021, TOKYO8 is switching from domestic-only operations and now approaching a broad-based global expansion that includes activities overseas and including African and other Asian countries. This means that TOKYO8 will promote soil vitality and have a positive impact on agriculture, a fundamental field of the human society. Furthermore, the microorganisms that are the main component of TOKYO8 can be reproduced overseas, making it possible to develop the business that suits the economies of different regions in terms of the logistics and the prices. So, there are still many things that have not yet been scientifically verified in terms of TOKYO8's effectiveness, and it is undeniable that the business itself is still in its infancy. However, in the areas where we have actually started the project, we have seen many positive results. And those results are greatly expected to improve the agriculture of the local people. So, with TOKYO8, yields are increased and chemical fertilizers as well as pesticides usage can be reduced, and costs are also reduced, as well as and the added value of agricultural products is increased by enhancing the taste and function and nutritional value of the food. So we believe that these effects can provide a solution to the problems of poverty and hunger in developing countries whose populations are growing in the opposite direction of Japan's population, and also contribute to the food security of each country. So we started these efforts in 2021 and made them public as our commitment at the Tokyo Nutrition Summit held in the same year. And last year in 2022, we held an official side event at TOKYO8, the Tokyo International Conference on African Development. And we have been actively participating in various initiatives at JICA and other international aid organizations. And in this March 2023, right after our webinar, our efforts were recognized and we were awarded at the Japan SDGs Award hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And in line with this trend, we have received sponsorship from many countries, including Japan. So all of this is the result of the help of many people. TOKYO8 was triggered by research on microorganisms, but now it is spreading its wings to create many businesses in many regions, not just as a product, but as a method. In the future, its expansion will spread not only to agriculture, but also to many other fields. So, together with you, we will continue to contribute to the formation of a sustainable society, contribute to global food security, and to solve the problems of hunger and poverty. Let's do it together. Thank you. This is the end of my speech. Thank you very much.
はい、ありがとうございます。石田専務ありがとうございました。
So thank you very much, Mr. Ishida. So about the end of the second part of the program. So This will be mainly presentation in English. So please, people that don't understand English, use the Japanese button in the interpretation menu. So first will be Mr. Arangi from Indonesia, then Mr. Salvatore Cuomo once again, then Aisha from Mauritania, and last will be then will be presentation from Malawi, and then last will be Mr. Yahaya from Niger. So first is will be Mr. Arangi. So Mr. Arangi, are you here? We can see your screen trying to start. But we cannot hear your voice yet. I think you are muted.
Yes, hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, hello everyone. So very nice to meet you
こんにち
again.
は。お目にかかれて嬉しいです。
Mr. Tahe-san, Mr.
Tahe-san,
Yohei-san, Enora. And
Enora
also
さん、
here have many friends of mine who's joining. Everybody is very
そして
interested
セ
to
ミナー
know more
に参加してくださっている
about
皆
TOKYO8.
さん、私の友人の方たち、
So if I may, I would like to share as requested by Enora-san to share
エノラさ
more
んからお願
about
いされた
the
ように、
business design perspective, how
インドネシアの
to
TOKYO8 の
TOKYO8 to
ビジネ
Indonesia.
スについてお話をさせていただき
I
たい
hope
と思います。
from my story, I can help inspire thoughts in other colleagues in other countries about how to start the business in their own countries.
私がお話しすることによって他の国の、こういうビジネスに手をつけようと思っている方たちのご参考になればと思います。
So the process of the business design, I use design thinking, which begins with the first step is empathy, understanding the situation of the market and the target, how the target market thinks.
まず最初にデザインシンキングということについてお話をしたいと思います。このデザインティンキングで重要になることの一つとして協調というのが挙げられます。イノベーションは常に人が中心でなければならないということです。
So, I would like to skip this part and go more into the action. But if you like, I would be happy to help on this explain these steps in further detail next time.
この件についてはこの場では詳しくお話しするつもりはありませんが、いつでも私のところにお問い合わせください。
So first, I try to understand the situation in the agriculture in Indonesia. What are the largest commodity and which one is most important? Okay. Enora-san, you raise your hand. Can I?
Yes, we are having a small issue on translation. I think Suzuki-san, we can hear your voice even in the English channel. I'm very sorry to interrupt.
That's right. Okay.
Please give us a small instant to fix the situation if you don't mind.
Sure. Just let me know when we're ready. I'll continue.
Okay. So yes, is it okay? Is it all right? Okay. So you can go further.
All right.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay. So this is the situation of in the Indonesian farming market. The largest one is palm oil, and luckily from Ishida-san, Tahe Ishida-san is a family member. He's also in the palm oil industry, which hopefully we can address that from B2B business. But the second largest is rice fields, which is about 10 million hectares in Indonesia. So logically, we go from the largest to the smallest to give the biggest impact. We also look at the competitors for direct competitors for liquid biofertilizers and also liquid organic fertilizers. And as we can see, there is about 1,000 registered brands of bio and organic fertilizers in Indonesia. Each promotes different aspects of it. but we can see the market is very saturated. So the way we address the market has to be understanding of this situation. These are some of the products that is available for biofertilizers, available in stores, and without a clear understanding from the market, from the farmers, on what is the difference between one and another. So very saturated. So despite the many choices of biofertilizers, we can see that the usage of the biofertilizers in the market is still rather small compared to the ones who are using chemical fertilizers. So we can see there's a lot of farmers for rice, majority is using chemical fertilizers only, and small, only 22% is using combined. Some is using only organic fertilizers. So the opportunity is there. But obviously, something is not working right. With so many products choices, only few people, less than majority that is using it. So we have to learn how to solve that problem. So I try to understand how's the top buying decisions for Indonesian farmers to choose one fertilizer product. First, number one is that it's cheap. Number two is the quality. Number three is recommendations from other peers and agronomists. Number four is availability and accessibility. It has to be near, because Indonesia has 13,000 islands. Distribution is a problem in Indonesia. And then number five is brand reputation reliability. There are others, but let's focus on the top five. The next thing to understand is the top 20 reasons for Indonesian farmers to not buy the biofertilizer product. Why do that? Why 66% don't use it? One is lack of awareness. Number two, they are more expensive than the subsidized chemical fertilizer from the government. So how to make them understand that it's helpful to them is critical. Number three is limited availability and accessibility, because the distribution in Indonesia is difficult. Number four, lack of information and data. Number five, skepticism. People don't want to change. If they have been using one method for years and years and generation, to change to another method is difficult. You have to change mindset. And then we also look at where do they buy it from. They usually buy, number one is from local supply stores, or from cooperatives, or from distributors that sells directly. Number four is online marketplace, but I think this is very few, because most farmers don't have access to buy from in the internet, online stores. And then also local fertilizer dealers. Indonesian farmers, we're thinking, what would make them feel like they have to use biofertilizer? This is or TOKYO8. Why would they think that this is a must use? Number one, we think that probably if it's the only available solution to the specific problem of the farmer, like soil degradation or pest infestation, then they must use it. So it has to be a specific condition. Number two, if the product is mandatory to comply with the government regulations. This is hopeful thinking. If we can do it, that's fantastic. But I think there's a long shot. Number three, if the product is superior to all other options in terms of quality, performance, and cost effectiveness, which I believe it is. But how to communicate this message to the farmers is not going to be easy, because everybody is shouting the same. It's a noisy competition. Number four, the product is endorsed by a trusted organization that the customer believes in, an institution in the agriculture industry. I think we may have a chance here. So partnership with the right strategic partners that is believed, is trusted by the farmers, may be the way. And so how to get the peer-to-peer influence, because that's one of the key, they make decisions. We also understand that Indonesian agriculture farmers, the productivity is low, which logically it's insane. It shouldn't be like that. Indonesia should be a fertile land with 13,000 islands, tropical, in the middle of equator, all green on lush, but the farmer harvest is only half of the neighboring countries. So, for example, rice productivity in Indonesia per hectare is only 6 tons per hectare, which is half of it in Thailand, in Australia, in Vietnam. Yeah. Even we hear that in China, they can achieve 18 tons per hectare. Indonesia remains only 6 or less per hectare. So why the reason? So some of the reason may be lack of modern technology equipment. Lands are small, and so they cannot afford large machines, automation, access to credit and financing, poor infrastructure, pest disease, and I think soil degradation, number 5. This is where TOKYO8 will help. The strategic situation, the government subsidized chemical fertilizer is very cheap. So this is the first choice for farmers. One of the reasons why they use that. But the overuse of it is reducing the quality of the soil year after year after year in generations. Of doing that reduces the productivity. For example, rice field produce only 6 tons or less per hectare, which is for farmers that has only average farmers in Indonesia, rice farmers has only 1 hectare or less. So it's not even enough to sustain their income below the minimum wage. So this leads to poverty. So I'm hoping TOKYO8 can become also one of those to increase their livelihood. So number 4, we also learned the supply chain. How do they buy? Where do they get the supply chain? The farm input supply. Who buys the rice? How does it get distributed up to the market? And many farmers, unfortunately, in Indonesia, are undereducated. 50 to 60% of farmers in Indonesia is educated only to primary school level, grade 1 to 6. 25% never tasted school, never been to school. So many of them cannot read and write. So if we think about putting labeling on the bottle, we have to make it understandable even to farmers who cannot read and write. If we do explanation presentations to them, we have to understand they have not been in school. So it has to be as simple as possible. Looking at how TOKYO8 can be sold in Indonesian market, although the product is logically very exciting, very superior, we have to think about other ways how this can help influence the market to adopt it. Affordability, I think, has to be one of the key challenges to solve. Introducing TOKYO8 in Indonesia is also not easy. The market is very regulated. We need to wait at least 1 year to 2 years before we can commercially launch, and we are in process of that. So I feel very sad and unhappy with how long we have to process this. I hope we can soon be commercial in Indonesia. So what we're thinking about, what can we do now in the process of this productively? So in the moment, what we can do is branding, educate the market, get as many partners as possible, get the influencers to believe that, hey, this is helpful. So when we get ready to launch, the market already understands the product. So we're thinking about the winning business model for TOKYO8. It should be something that is inherently competitive to other local brands, then has to include the community, not only selling in the store and another product in the store, in the shelf. It has to be inclusive to farmers. The purchase financing should be part of the offering, and it should be accepted to the most popular agro commodity. So number 1 was the palm oil. Number 2 is rice. Number 3 is maize, corn. And then number 5, how we take advantage of the first 2 years in developing the product marketing acceptance in Indonesia. So one of the way that we're developing now is strategic partnerships. So I've invited here some of the partners who's able to join for agri insurance, farm management, agri assistance programs, and also agri-tech. So one of them is the insurance, agri insurance. Unfortunately, Mr. Jacob is unable to attend today, but he's from Acha Insurance, and from his understanding of TOKYO8, it helps them reduce the risk of failure. So because it helps reduce the risk. An insurance company like Acha thinks that all their clients should use TOKYO8 because it helps reduce their risk. So this becomes a win-win partnership with TOKYO8. So I'm very happy to promote TOKYO8. I'm very happy to promote Acha to my network, as well as Pak Jacob from Acha is very happy to promote the use of TOKYO8 to all their clients. So it's a win-win partnership. That's one. Number two. So this is coverage from him in what you call that, in interview by NHK TV about the demo plot of TOKYO8 in Serang. I will show that later. Number two is farm management. We have here Mas Hussein from Mastani. Mas Hussein, can you show your face?
Yeah. Hello, Mas Tarang. Good afternoon.
Hello, Mas Hussein. So thank you.
Yeah,
this is our photo from our demo plot in Serang, where Mas Hussein tries to help us discover what is the best, mixed best prescription for the best result of TOKYO8. I will show that result later. But there are several farm management farm management companies in Indonesia, all very young, all very enthusiastic about increasing the yield from by 2 times in Indonesia. And I think Mastani is one of the innovative and leading one. So we continue to collaborate with as many of them to help educate the farmers. Number 3 is agri-assistant programs like JICA. JICA has program like the name is iJob. They focus in horticulture in West Java, and these are the agronomists. And then they have decided for all their farm groups that they educate, they want to educate usage of TOKYO8 in addition of their fertilizers. So this helps us a lot in the preparation phase now, in the education phase to the market. So we have a program there where we give 90% discount for the purchase of TOKYO8 per bottle. So, and then the last one is Agritech. I think we have our partners here from Scala, AgriHub, and also from Sagri. I would like to introduce first from Scala, maybe Ipe-Sano-san and Rio-san. Can you show your face?
Hello.
Hello, yeah. I think you've met with Yohei-san also. They are helping us monitor the demo plots in Indonesia and also with the JICA programs as well. So I hope their programs can help us to record what's the best agricultural practice for the best use of TOKYO8, the best compositions, and measuring also the results in a organized manner, scientific manner. Also, I would like to introduce one of our partner here, Sagri, Kazuki Sakamoto-san. Can you show your face?
Hi. Hello, everyone.
So thank you for joining, and it's very interesting. They have a satellite system that can help monitor the nutrition of the soil, and also help hopefully measure what is the carbon saving by using TOKYO8. We would like to explore the possibility if we can also have a carbon credit that can be earned by using TOKYO8 that in the future hopefully can also help the farmer. So thank you for our partners. So as an example of our partnerships, here we have the demo plot in Serang, in Banten, in Java Island, where this is managed by Mastani. So Mas Hussein is very familiar with this. It's five plot of about 1 hectare divided by 5 plots. And we have different mixes here. The control, of course, using 0 TOKYO8 and using the 100% dose of NPK. These numbers is the nitrogen content if it was a hectare in kilograms. So this is using full dosage of NPK. This was using half dosage of NPK. But as you can see, the This one is using the full NPK. This one is the control is using 0 TOKYO8. This one is using double dose TOKYO8, so 20 milliliter TOKYO8 per liter spray. Yeah. This one is using the normal dose TOKYO8, yeah, 100%. Both these were using 100% NPK. And here we are using the normal dose of TOKYO8, and he's using the double dose TOKYO8. But this time, the green ones is using half of the NPK. You can see that the difference of the nitrogen content between using the one that's, although the NPK is half, because of using TOKYO8, the difference is only very little. Yeah. But most amazing is the result. Remember that normally the average yield per hectare is 6 tons. In this area, the average yield per hectare is 5 tons, 5 something, yeah, less than 6. So Mastani is doing very well. They're using the standard method in the control, yeah. Also using Mastani's own product, yeah, Humustar. So they were standard, and you were able to help increase from 5 something tons per hectare to 7.5 tons per hectare. So it is a success for Mastani for increasing the control. However, the ones that's using TOKYO8 consistently is above the normal method by Mastani. And the one that so we have 8.4 tons here per hectare, 8.6 tons here. Yes, the least one is 7.5 tons per hectare, but the best one is 9.25 tons per hectare. And most interestingly, this is the plot that's using half NPK, half the NPK. So it's half the chemical fertilizer produces the most impact to the harvest, although it's using only normal dose of TOKYO8. So more TOKYO8 is not necessarily better for the land. What's best is just like our body. The best dose, the best proportion gives the best result. So I think we are going to continue, yeah, Inora-san, Tahi-san, Yohi-san, with to work together with Mastani, with Hussein, to tune further what is the best dose. So I think with monitoring, with Scala, with Sagri, hopefully we can find the best dose to help increase all rice farms in Indonesia to increase from 6 tons to 12 tons per hectare for the food security of Indonesians and people around the world. And for the last one, I feel a little bit of video recording of Mas Hussein presenting the harvest. As you can see, what do you call that? The rice stems are all drooping because it's too heavy. The type of rice, the variant of the rice is not strong enough to carry the weight of the rice because the rice is so much in this harvest. Let's see the video.
Okay, Mas Hussein.
Yeah.
How is the harvest here?
Yeah, we're quite happy with the harvest. We can see here, we have really nice grain. All of the panicle is peeling, and we expect that it will more than 7 tons per hectare. And we also have a good price. We expect that our farmer partner will be happy with the yield, and we can continue with partnership with the farmer for the next season.
Okay. So can you show the filling? How heavy that is?
I will take random sample.
Ya. Coba jongkok Mas, biar ya. So coba jongkok. Ya. Okay. So that's very heavy.
Really nice.
Really nice. Okay. Can you show the filling? It's filled from top to bottom.
Yeah, if it's filling from top to bottom, I will take the one.
Yeah. So we can see how lush the result here. So I hope this gives a little bit story about the process of introducing TOKYO8 in Indonesia. It's still a journey for us, but I'm very grateful that we have very good partners to help us grow awareness of the market about Tokyo 8. And everybody I've met here is eager to use Tokyo 8 as soon as possible. So please help us share the good news further. I hope we can help the market. Thank you so much. Any question?
Arangi-san, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Arani-san.
Thank you. Thank you.
はい、大変興味深いお話をいただきました。ありがとうございます。
So thank you for your very interesting story. So in the middle of Tokyo 8 global expansion, so Mr. Arangi has the best progress so far. So I think this might be a very interesting story for even all other companies. So I think it's very interesting to see the tie-up between farmers and agri-tech companies. So TOKYO8 is aiming to collaborate with a lot of different kind of companies, and we are looking forward to this. So as the next presentation, so it's a presentation about Salvatore Como that is quite different from the first part. So this one is for people abroad. So for Japanese people, you can hear so he will be talking in Japanese, so you will have to pay attention to the translation.
ではですね、サルバトーレさんの発表、英語で海外向けの発表を始めさせていただきます。
Nice to meet you. I'm Salvatore Cuomo.
Nice to meet you. I'm Salvatore Cuomo. I'm based in Japan, working there, and it's already around 30 years that I've been in Japan. It's quite a long time. I'm split a little bit around all the Asia, and now I'm still based in Japan, but mainly in the Philippines and also Indonesia. We already work on over 100 stores or so. We also work in China, Taipei, Korea, and all those countries. If you don't mind, I would like to have my explanation in Japanese because it's a little bit too much things to do in English. So I prefer to talk in Japanese because I think we have a lot of Japanese listeners here today. So let me talk in Japanese. So I went back from the Philippines to Japan at the start of the Corona era, and I moved to the countryside with my family and started farming on my own. So at that time, I was able to know about TOKYO8 for the first time. I was thinking to see the effects by myself by using it. And naturally, this was just a part of a trial that I did with my staff. It was just vegetables produced by mere chefs. This is the only thing, this is what we were able to do. Of course, if we didn't have the time to do this, we wouldn't be able to say that, but thanks to the Corona pandemic, we were able to make time for that. So actually, with that experience, with that problem, we were able to understand the difficulty of farming for the first time. And we are managing more than hundreds of stores in Japan, just in Japan. So of course, all I could think about is to have it beat down the prices. So I've been in a situation where all I can do is talk about lowering the costs. But it was the first time I realized that even in 6 months, there is so few things that you can do. our perception of ingredients changed a lot naturally. Actually, as for the trials, of course, we have grown some crops with TOKYO8, and we have also grown some without it, the same way as the vegetables grown in the supermarket, that we can find in the supermarket. And we did both of the conditions, we farm using both of the conditions. And in addition, we tried things such as dividing the lines, growing in several places, or growing different crops on the same line. We wanted to see what would be different. This way of doing the comparison was just in my head. And then I did the trial, but to be fair, I did not have much expectations in it. But I just wanted to try it by ourselves. So we tried with spinach, potatoes, and so on. And what we understood is that when we first measured the weight of the vegetables, we found an increase in the volume by 40%. And if it was normal, when you think of an increase of 40%, if it is the same crop, one side is 1 kg and the other side is 1.4 kg. So we thought it was because we were beginners in agriculture. And we thought that if you harvested 400 grams more, then it means that the flavor is actually weak or something like that. But as we harvested, actually, the opposite was true. For the crops where you had the increase of 40%, their taste was even more intense. I don't know how I can explain it, but simply, it didn't add heaviness only, but it really tasted like it sucked all the nutrients from the soil. So what the taste that we're looking for as a chef is quite different from what the supermarkets are looking for. It's not just about the shape or the appearance, but it's about conveying the actual taste of the vegetable when it was harvested. That is the most important. So what we want to convey is the soil and the aroma of the soil to the customer. This is the kind of job that we do as chefs. We really have to convey everything about the vegetable. So the same is true for the feelings of the people who do farming, and of course about the soil, people who care about the soil. It's also going to be passed down in a clear way, and if you can tell it in a clear way, you can start with the excitement. And obviously everything about the taste will be experienced. After all, when we are making a new recipe, it's not about the appearance only. It's because you have the ingredients that you can build a whole new world around it. So as long as we cannot get good ingredients, we cannot make good food. Of course, there are a lot of ways to make food and improve their taste, but in the end, it's about making the most out of the ingredients. So even if the shape is not ideal or the appearance, what is most important to us is the taste, is that the taste is amazing. So there are always people saying that, oh, the shape is slightly different and whatnot, but in fact, that's all good. I don't pay too much attention to the shape. In fact, I'm not only in Japan, I am also active internationally. Like in the Philippines and Indonesia. So even if I'm saying that this is something you cannot find in those countries, the actual trial that we have done as cooks has helped us to know how to grow vegetables, and it allows us to better take communication with the local farmers. So in one way, vegetables, in one way to put it, also to our relatives. So when we're abroad and we're talking about vegetables, I think it's the same with fruits. Most people are not thinking about their value that much. most of the people do not think about eating the vegetables raw. But however, if they come out like that, well, if they try to eat it, it will be a challenge. But when they try it, they will actually be surprised that it tastes like this. And if you explain to them after that, they are surprised that they are full of nutrients, and you'll be able to change the things that have been 0 to 100 very fast. And after that, you will frequently hear from clients, oh, where did you buy those? I get asked about this a lot. But we cannot do it without farmers. And no matter how hard we try, we can't move forward without them. After all, the agriculture industry has been really hard, and they need to make profit too. So I was able to understand that during the spinach trials, whilst using TOKYO8, some pests didn't come indeed. We didn't experience pests, and I was surprised by that because there were quite a few insects on the leaves of the crops which we did not use TOKYO8. But the ones that use TOKYO8 did not have any of them. So this is so amazing. So the most important point for us was that the color was completely different from the stem where the crop gets its nutrient. The width was different, and also the vigor of the crop is completely different. It really tastes like the soil, and it's hard to get that kind of ingredients for us. Because I feel that adding up on those is something wrong, and on the contrary, I want to convey the taste to the customer. So, of course, we have to think about that during the preparation. And I have to think about what I'm going to put in at the vegetable side, and I try to make the most out of it, and then I'll later add an explanation about it. About something like this kind of person is making it, and this is how they do it, and this is how the kind of results that is produced. So if it has real qualities, if it's the real thing after all, I want to take the farmers to a gala dinner, and I want to do that kind of thing, that kind of food, and the food that can make people understand that, oh, these people are making these kinds of ingredients and sweating like this, the real value. And when I do this, the real value will change completely. I think that if you could harvest 40% more, it would connect you to profits. I want everyone to try their best and grow their best vegetables that they can. I want to create a situation where we can spread TOKYO8 all over the world. Mr. Salvatore, thank you very much.
So there's a lot of questions coming on, but please ask your question because Mr. Salvatore is here as well. So we will answer them at the end of the session. So the next session is Mrs. Aisha. So it's been a long time. Yes, indeed. So, hello, and yeah. So are you presenting in English, in Japanese? Oh, you're presenting in English. So please start your presentation.
So hello everyone. I want to start by greeting everyone from the company. I miss you guys so much. It's been a long time. And let's start the presentation. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the journey of bringing TOKYO8 to Mauritania. We will first give a personal background about myself. Many people here don't know me. And then we will go through the steps of establishing TOKYO8. Later on, I will summarize some achievements that we were able to provide. And later, I will talk about the future goals. First of all, personal background. So my name is Aisha and I'm from Mauritania. I came to Japan almost 3 years ago to do my MBA as a JICA scholar I am interested in finance and sustainable development. I believe that everyone has the ability to change and that I am responsible for developing and promoting my country. Therefore, I was participating in many events and internships during my MBA. And during one of those internships, I get to go to a field trip to TOKYO8, which was the first time ever hearing about TOKYO8. And since then, I fell in love with it. Exactly. So this was in the summer of 2021. I loved the idea and the business plan, and I decided to, once I graduate, I decided to start developing the business. And that's exactly what I did. So when I graduated, I participated in a long internship with TOKYO8, started in October 2022. And from there started the journey of establishing TOKYO8. So here I highlighted the most important steps in the journey. Starting with the market research. I started the market research right when I started the internship. I highlighted the market needs and potentials, and I can share some of the insights I found. I found that in Mauritania there is a very big need of locally produced fertilizers, and that local farmers in Mauritania are not has no accessibility to high quality inputs. No chemical fertilizers, no biofertilizers. Therefore, I found that TOKYO8 has a very big opportunity in this market. The next step I had to think about is the business license. So what are the legal actions that we should take to promote, import and produce TOKYO8 locally in Mauritania, since in each country it's different. So I met with government officers from the agricultural ministry, both online when I was in Japan and face-to-face when I came to Mauritania in March 2023. And after asking them about the regulations, I found that in Mauritania, it's not legally required to have a license to import or produce such biofertilizers, since it's considered safe on the environment. So, but after like a lot of time, we came to the realization that getting such license will give a credibility and to the product and more trust, of course. So therefore, we chose CNRADA, which stands for Centre National de Recherche Agroéconomique et Développement Agricole, for doing the test. And later on, they will share the test with the Agricultural Ministry, and hopefully they will issue us the business license. Also, during this time, I had to create my company for the franchise of TOKYO8 process. I created the company and named it Mori Yume, and the slogan is the Mauritanian Dream. In the short term, I see this company helping developing and distributing TOKYO8 in Mauritania. However, in the long term, hopefully, Mori Yume will help Japanese companies penetrate in the Mauritanian market. Since during my time in Japan, I found that a lot of Japanese companies are willing to interpret the African market overall. However, the lack of reliable resources, data, and reliable partner is what holds them back. So hopefully Mori Yume will be that reliable resource in the future. Another very important step also is the production of the unit, building the unit. So starting with finding the location, getting the material and assembling them. From my point of view, this was the most difficult part, because in this project is the first of its kind in Mauritania. Therefore, finding the material was very difficult. We had to import most of them, but hopefully we did it. I decided to go with a small plant. Here you can see a video from the steps. I decided to go with a small unit production because so instead of having 4 tanks of 1 ton, I decided to go with 4 tanks of 200 milliliters. So the pros of this kind of plant is that it needs less initial investment, so you don't need a lot of money to start, and it's also easier to handle, especially that we will be training new people that do not know the product on how to do the process and the maintenance and so on. However, after completing this step, I found out that there are a little bit of cons. So since we have less sales, so instead of producing 3,000 liters per month, we will only be able to produce 1,500 liters, which means, of course, less revenue. Also, there is not very big difference overall in the cost and the initial investment. Moving on, we had also another very difficult step, which is the supply chain management. Due to the poor information system in the market, in the Mauritanian market, and its limitations, it was really difficult to find distributors and suppliers. So, for example, in Mauritania, we don't have bottle manufacturers and so on. So finding the best supplier was a little bit challenging. Also, another very important step is doing the TOKYO8 first trials in Mauritania. Especially that I did not have any contact before in the agricultural industry. So finding someone and convincing them that this product is very good and please try it and so on, it was a little bit challenging. So after a lot of research, we collaborated with EcoDev, which is an NGO, a Mauritanian NGO, and we decided to do 3 trials. And from here on, we will be talking about achievements, since the test results were really impressive. So here is the list of trials. We did 2 trials in Bouguet, Brakna. One of them is on sweet potatoes, 400 square meters of sweet potatoes, and the other one was done on tomatoes nursery. And the third test was in Kehedi, Gorgol, on okra. So the current situation of each trial is as follows. The sweet potatoes is still in progress. Here is a picture of with and without TOKYO8, the field with and without TOKYO8. As you can see, without TOKYO8, it's very dry, and here we call it the control. So we asked the farmers to do for the control the normal procedure they would do normally. And with TOKYO8, we just added 5 treatments of TOKYO8. As for the tomato nursery, we don't have pictures of it yet, but it's in progress. And finally, the okra is already harvested. Here is a picture of the field with and without TOKYO8. Also, the difference is very obvious. And here is a small picture of the harvest. Continuing to the harvest summary. So both fields were seeded at the same time, 9th of May, and the harvest was in August. So it took roughly 3 months. The number of treatments, so as I said, the control was what the farmers do normally, and with TOKYO8 we just added 5 treatments of TOKYO8. And the treated plants were able to be harvested after only 47 days, while the normal ones took 60 days. So that's almost 2 weeks earlier than the normal harvest time. And as for the harvest frequency, so the treated plants were harvested 3 times a week, were able to be harvested 3 times a week, while the other one was only harvested 1 time. And as for the total production plant per kg, so each plant treated with TOKYO8 was able to produce 3.8 kilograms of okra, while the other one was able only to produce 1.4. So that's really very good results. So let's summarize our achievements so far. So we built the production facility. We started the certificate procedure. We did the first trials and we got very great results. And we were able even to do our first sale online. So one of the farmers contacted us online and he was like, please give me some of TOKYO8. So remember, all of this was done only after 4 months of our launch. So we started almost like in March and now it's August. So yeah. Next, I'll be talking about our future goals. So in the future, we will be focusing on the government certificate and its procedure. The test will be done in Rosso, Nouakchott, Mauritania, on rice fields. And hopefully we will distribute more TOKYO8 on demand and therefore reach the break-even point by the end of next season, which starts in September, I mean. And finally, hopefully scale up to the normal size plant by the end of next year. So in conclusion, I want to say that TOKYO8 is a really great product. Coming to Mauritania after a few years actually in Japan, and giving presentations to different people, from clients to potential investors or so on. Just after doing the presentation, everyone was really impressed by the product and they loved it. There was no need for me to put extra efforts to convince them that the product is very good. This really surprised me. And also the journey differs from country to another. So in Mauritania, the most difficult steps were the production, the unit production and the supply chain management, while in other countries it might be the certificate procedure. So yeah, it depends on each country and each markets in different times. And I wanted to say also that in TOKYO8 we are really a big family. So in every step I wasn't alone. People from the headquarters, they were supporting me, helping me. I never felt alone. They were always helping me find the research, find alternatives, helping me dealing with problems. So I'm really grateful for that. And finally, I want to give special thanks to Hamza from EcoDev. Without him, really none of this would happen. He believed the product and he was handling all the tests. And also my brother, Siti Mahmoud, who also believed and loved the product. And he's a co-founder of Mariume. So that was all from my side. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to follow on TOKYO8 Mauritania on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you have any question, please do so. Thank you very much.
アイシャさん、大変素晴らしい発表ありがとうございました。
This is a very wonderful presentation. Thank you very much, Aisha.
日本の皆さんにちょっと解説しておきますと、
I want to explain for the Japanese participant. So she's a JICA student, and she went to a Japanese university with JICA. And she had the experience of having internship with a Japanese company, and also most of those students, they look forward for internship experience in the Japanese company. So there's a lot of different people participating. So, for example, you also have people that are in the agricultural field. So, yes, so please, Japanese company, feel free to try to get them in your company. And this is just a small comment. So, yes. Oh, so Mr. Salvatore-san just joined us. So, thank you very much. So, actually, everybody saw his video, right? So we don't have much time, so we want to go to the next program. So yes, very sorry. So we want to share the comments of people that are. Sorry. Do you have a message, Mr. Salvatore, to the people that are doing agriculture in Africa? Sorry, we have a sound issue. So for so we really believe that about this product and this in this project. So our job as chef depend on your product. So if you don't get very good product, we are having an issue with sound. Sorry.
聞こえますか？
はい、もう一回、すみません、
今聞こえますか？
はい、今聞こえるようになりました。すみません。
We can hear.
Okay. So I'm going to start from beginning. I was telling one message. The most important parts for us is to using a good ingredient. So it's especially vegetables in our industry. So for what we saw after we did also the trial by our ends, we really believe in this product. And then one of my opinion, it can be very interesting to, in my case, to set up all my menu in the future from beginning, from the seed with all of you, So I really wish no one of you is going to give up in this kind of project because we believe a lot. We needed all of you to be very, very strong. I know it's not easy job because we did the same trial. We tried to set up the whole same product. Of course, we are not professional like all of you, but we really get a big help from Minasan, from Matsumoto-san, and then all of them. So please, make it very good product, and then give it to us, lot of the power, because we depend on you. If you give it to us a good ingredients, we can make it the best food. Never give up, please. Help all of us.
はい、ありがとうございました。Thank you very much. ありがとうございました。ちょっと今通訳を一回切ってしまってましたので、日本語でお分かりいただけなかった方もいらっしゃると思うんですが、やっぱり料理人シェフとしてはそういう食材を求めてるんで、ぜひいろんな困難があるかもしれないけども、諦めずに頑張ってもらいたい。
Of translation, so now I'm explaining about the.
ではサルバトーレさんどうもありがとうございました。ではちょっとプログラムを続けたいと思います。ちょっと今ご質問も手は上がっているようなんですが、ちょっとプログラムを先に進行して申し訳ないんですが、Q&A セッションのちょうどやりますので、そこでご質問に答えたいと思います。ぜひその間にQ&A のところに、日本語でも英語でもご登録いただけるとありがたく存じます。よろしくお願いいたします。では続いてはですね、 マラウイからの発表になります。マラウイからの発表になります。最初にビデオを流すんですか？はい。じゃあ最初にビデオを、お二方の声をですね、ビデオで撮っておりますので、そちらを、共有したいと思いますので、よろしくお願いします。
One of the farmers that used experimental trial cultivation of TOKYO8 biofertilizer and inorganic fertilizer. So in the experimental plot that I used TOKYO8 biofertilizer, I had very high yield. Yeah, in such a way that the cobs were very strong, even the stems were very strong, than in the experimental plot that I used in organic fertilizer, whereby the cobs were very small, even the stems were very small. Yeah, so at the same time, in the experimental plot that I used biofertilizer TOKYO8, it gave me a very good impression in such a way that I've decided that from now onwards I'll be using TOKYO8 biofertilizer, because I've also observed that TOKYO8 biofertilizer helps to improve the fertility of soil. Despite that the leaves were a little bit yellowish, I know that this was because this year we had a cyclone which made the contents of the TOKYO8 biofertilizer to be a little bit diluted due to a lot of rains that came this year. So I'm just urging that the best is to use TOKYO8 biofertilizer instead of using inorganic fertilizer, because inorganic fertilizer destroys the fertility of soil. So if you can be using TOKYO8 biofertilizer, the fertility of soil will improve. Even in the years to come, if you be using TOKYO8 biofertilizer, the fertility of soil will still remain intact than using inorganic fertilizer.
じゃあもう一方のお話を聞きたいと思います。これは現地語で喋られているので、日本語は字幕でもご紹介します。
Hello team. My name is Sheriff Peter from Malawi. Mulimi Modzi. Amini Jigubanga now joins the TOKYO8 from Malawi. So last time we had an experiment based on maize, and it didn't mamalo ojeba. Malingana ndi TOKYO8 amene tinali nayo. So mbali na tinali machimanga. Chimene tinagwisa ntchito fertilizer amene timagwisa ntchito kuno Malawi nthawi zonse, and the other side tinagwisa ntchito TOKYO8. So tikaona mbewu zimene zimakulira, mbali imene tinathira TOKYO8 zinali zosiyana kwambiri ndi mbali imene tinathira fertilizer amene timatha kugwisa ntchito nthawi zonse kuno Malawi. Mbali imene tinathira TOKYO8 tikatenga chimanga chathu imene chimaonekera, when you look at the stem itself and the crops, the stem was so strong compared to other site in the fertilizer Malawi. And this time around, TOKYO8 moja tugwisa ntchito ku ulimi wa nthilira umene taisa mbewu ina ya anyezi mu Malawi. So we had a plot imene talima anyezi kumwe tikutisa fertilizer amene timagwisa ntchito nthawi zonse kuno Malawi. The other place imene tikugwisa ntchito TOKYO8. So panopa we have already done 2 phases. So tikaona mbewu yathu imene iyi yathu yomwe tatisa TOKYO8 panopa ku anyezi wathu awakula mwansanga compared ndi mbali imene tatisa fertilizer imene timatagwisa nthawi zonse. Even the leaves itself is so green, and even the stem yake is so strong. Sure. So and tikakhaso demwayi ina titakhaso tikuyesa so mbewu zina. Thank you.
はい、以上の2本のビデオはですね、アフリカ南部のマラウイという国からの報告でございました。 実はマラウィからの、マラウィではですね、この東京8の栽培実験に参加していただいている、栽培に参加していただいている農家の方が非常に多く、もうすでにいらっしゃる国でございます。マラウィからの発表でございました。で、発表は今回アフリカからの発表、海外からの発表、最後のフェーズになりますが、最後のフェーズはアフリカのニジェールという国でございます。ニジェールの国からヤハヤさんからの発表となります。テレビのニュースで最近ニジェールの話題が時々出てくると思います。ちょっと大変クーデターが起きて、大変な状況ではありまして、今回ヤハヤさんの発表もですね、ちょっと事前のリハーサルで音声が非常に悪かったもんですから、データをいただいた上で、日本のエノラの方からですね、発表をさせていただきたいと思います。エノラさん。
Hello. Sorry, I was finishing the translation in English. So I will be presenting in the stead of Mr. Yahaya because of connection issues. He couldn't make it to the presentation. So let me start by sharing my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I will start. So let me share about TOKYO8 in Niger. The presentation might be a little bit shorter than what Yahaya might have done because there's some information that I don't have from him, but still I will try to do my best. So Mr. Yahaya Dangage, he is from Niger, from the region of Tahua, and he comes from the commune of Bambay. He is an ex-Abbey initiative, so six batch, that studied in the University of the Ryukyus in Okinawa. And he is an electrical and electronic engineer specialized on solar panels. So let me introduce you a little bit about the commune of Bambay, where Mr. Yahaya come from. So the surface area of the commune is in total 2,576 square kilometers. And actually they are mainly relying on agriculture as for their main economical means. And the main crops that are grown are millet, sorghum, coffee, corn, peanuts, cassava, sweet potato, and potato. So you can see here, this is the region of Tahua, that is between Mali and Nigeria. So as for the Bambay commune, the commune of Bambay, so it's a rural village that is located some 30 kilometers southwest of the city of Tahua. So the estimated population of the commune is around 112,000 people. So this is an estimation from 2012. So generally speaking, the commune's economy is essentially based on agriculture and livestock breeding. That is the main activity of the majority of the population. So Mr. Yahaya heard about TOKYO8 during a networking session, and he found that it was a very interesting product to bring to his village because he knew about the situation over there. So we sent him a sample of TOKYO8, and he gathered all the village chief of his commune to explain about TOKYO8. So you can see the picture here. And actually, when they have to take a decision, he cannot take the decision alone. So he has to gather all the village chief to be able to start TOKYO8 in the soil. So it's after he got the approval from the village chief that he was able to do cultivation trial. So you can see him introducing TOKYO8 to the farmers and starting the experiment in the Sahel Desert. So the Sahel Desert is the desert that is under the Sahara Desert. And most of Mali and Niger are in the Sahel Desert. So for TOKYO8 trials, I don't have much information like in details for it, but it was tested in 4 different zones of the commune of Bombay. So the main test parameters were whether they used TOKYO8 and manure or just chemical fertilizer and no TOKYO8. So let me share a little bit about the results. So this is in the zone number 1, Kolkoli Konawa. So you can see you have tomato with TOKYO8 and without TOKYO8. So when it was planted and it was first sprayed. So this is a picture from February. And same with the salad with and without TOKYO8, onion with and without TOKYO8 after transplanting. So still in February. So what the farmer noticed at this point is that the soil that was with TOKYO8 stayed darker a little bit longer than the soil without TOKYO8. So it was looking a little bit humid at this time. Then you have a letter reporting about TOKYO8 with cabbage. So you can see here, this is cabbage with TOKYO8 and this is without. And this is a reporting from April from the same zone. So this is a plot of onion with TOKYO8 and this is a plot of onion without TOKYO8. You can see the difference in growth and vigor. And also you can see this is the harvest that they started in May. So you can see this is onion with TOKYO8. So mostly the one onion was about 50 grams per onion. And you can see here without TOKYO8, so they were about half of this weight. So most of the results they planted also carrots and so on, and they found out that the crop with TOKYO8, especially for the carrots and onion, the plants were stronger but also bigger. So as Yahaya shared with me the voice of the farmers, they are really, really, really happy with the product. And they ask Yahaya-san every day, when are we starting the plant of TOKYO8? I want to buy it. I'm going to give the money right now. Please tell me, I want to start. So they are very enthusiastic about the product. And most of the farmers, for example, for the cultivation of salad lettuce, they were able to find a reduction of the cultivation cycle of about 1 month to 40 days. So it was 1 month to 40 days shorter than the usual cultivation when they used TOKYO8. And where TOKYO8 was applied, this is what it refers to what I said a bit earlier. It always looked wet and humid. Where it wasn't applied, it looked dry. So it meant that TOKYO8, it was retaining mostly the moisture, better than the usual cultivation. As for cabbage, salad, and carrot leaves, when it was growing, they were forming better and bigger when they were using TOKYO8. And what the farmers say is that the insects, they don't come and touch the leaf where TOKYO8 is applied. As I said before, the carrot and onions, they had higher yield. And after using TOKYO8, after the cropping season, so they didn't have a sample anymore at this time. But still, they planted and they saw that the soil was still keeping the moist very well. And they noticed that when they planted maize, even though they didn't apply TOKYO8, the crop still grew faster. So they were still seeing the effect of TOKYO8 in the soil after applying. So for the farmers, it's really important. This is what made them very enthusiastic, because they said, oh, this is fantastic. We want to keep applying because it might change the soil completely. So this is why the next actions for TOKYO8 in Niger is to start the TOKYO8 franchise very soon. So right now they are in preparation phase and they are looking for the materials. And they already got the approval from the village chief to start TOKYO8. So now they are just looking forward to really start enforcing it and building the production unit to be able to sell to all of the farmers in the region. So first they will start with the commercialization of Bambey commune, but they want to scale up to the whole Tahua region and then the whole Niger. So they aim for increase of crop production in Bambey region and also to participate to the development of the region. So I think one of the most important things in Yahaya's activity is that he saw an issue that was in his commune, in his village. He knew how they are living and so on. And even though it's not in his field, he's an electrical engineer. He found a solution for his to improve his community. So I think this is a very important report. So thank you very much for your attention.
はい、ありがとうございます。はい、ニジェールのヤハヤさんがちょっと電波の都合が悪いので、代わりに、エノラさんから発表をしていただきました。誠にありがとうございます。ちょっと時間が迫ってきてしまってるんですが、いくつか質問をいただいているので、それに、答えながら終盤に向かっていきたいと思います。どんな土壌で対応できるのかというご質問が複数の方から寄せられました。特にアフリカの乾燥された土壌で対応できるのか。それはもうすでに今のヤハヤさんのこのサハラ砂漠でこんな成果が出ているということで十分回答できているのかもしれませんけれども、これについて、洋平さん、コメントいただけますか。土壌に関してはどうでしょうか。
はい、どうもありがとうございます。今、松本さんが言ったようにですね、今まで多くの国で使っていますが、どんな土壌でも効果を発揮しています。先ほどのヤフヤさんやアイシャさんのところはサハラ砂漠にかかっている、いわば乾燥地帯です。また、北海道帯広のように北に位置するところでも効果が出ています。微生物自体はですね、あんまりにも、激しい温度の変化とかですと、対応というか、活性が弱くなったりとかすることもあるんですが、人間が、生きていけるような環境ですと、ほぼほぼ、微生物も、対応できるというふうに考えております。このような回答でよろしいでしょうか。
はい、ありがとうございます。あともう一つ、特徴的な質問があったのは、東京都のグローバル戦略はどうお考えなのか。これもね、アイシャさんや、ヤーさんでフランチャイズの話が出てきているので、あれですけども、専務からお願いできますか。
はい。もうすでにこのウェビナーも4回と回を重ねております。で、もう皆さんもすでに私たちが大変ユニークな方法で事業を行っていることはご存知でしょう。私たちの取り扱っているこの東京8、これは微生物です。で、この微生物の特性を生かして、いわば、現地で生産、培養という方法を使って生産できるような、そういう製造フランチャイズという方式で、今、海外の方は事業を展開しております。そうですね、簡単に特徴をお話しすると、コカ・コーラやヤクルトのような、そんなビジネスモデルになります。コカ・コーラはデトロイトで、原液を製造しておりまして、それを世界各国のフランチャイジーに、お渡しして、で、フランチャイジーはその原液を使って、各地でもってコカ・コーラを作ると。で、逆にですね、このヤクルトはですね、出来上がった製品を販売している、その販売網にすごく特徴があります。で、その販売網というのは、ヤクルトレディというふうに呼ばれているんですが、このヤクルトレディの人たちはみんな個人事業主です。で、私たちの事業もですね、製造フランチャイズ、各国、いろんなアフリカでも、ASEAN でもいろんなところで今パートナーができつつあるんですが、そういったところでもって製造した、東京8をですね、これまた、ヤクルトレディのような、現地のディストリビューターと呼ばれている、売り子ですね。この方々が、独立した売り子の方々が農地に販売していくといった、大変ユニークな方法です。で、私たちはこういった、ユニークなビジネスモデルでもって、私たち日本だけが儲かる、ビジネスではなく、現地の人たちと共に、利益を追求していけるような、そんな、ビジネスモデルを世界に展開していきたいと考えております。ぜひ、皆さんもご協力ください。よろしくお願いします。
はい、ありがとうございます。この後のアンケート、終了すると終了画面にアンケート、サーベイの URL が出てきますので、ぜひその、サーベイ、アンケートから、この東京8のビジネスに参画したいという方はですね、積極的にメッセージをいただけるとありがたいというふうに思っております。では、他にもいくつかいろいろご質問、ご意見いただいております。いくつかの話にあった害虫駆除の問題は、それだけで農業生産を2倍にするというようなコメントをいただいておってですね、大変もう我々としても嬉しい限りでございます。ぜひこの東京8の輪を広げられたらなと思っております。ではもう予定していた日本時間午後8時に到達してしまいました。名残惜しいですけれども、ここら辺で、お別れのご挨拶とさせていただきたいと思います。皆様、ぜひどうぞ可能な方ですね、パネリストの方々はぜひお顔をちょっとオープンにしていただいて、最後記念写真と同時にですね、皆さんへのお別れのご挨拶をさせていただきたいと思います。ぜひ今日は本当に世界中から様々な発表、本当に勇気づけられる発表、本当にありがとうございました。この東京8、アイシャさんはファミリーっていうふうに表現してくれましたが、このファミリーをもっともっと広げて、そして世界中のいろんな課題に解決する、そんなネットワークになれればなというふうに思っています。視聴者の皆さんもですね、2月と8月に年2回このウェビナーは継続していくつもりです。情報をオープンにします。で、今日のアーカイブも少し編集の必要がある部分がありますけれども、どんどんオープンにしていきますので、これからも引き続き注目していただき、また参加いただければと思います。では、誰かがスクリーンショットすると思いますので、 皆さん手を振っていただいて、どうも今日はありがとうございました。長時間本当にありがとうございました。Thank you very much. See you again, everybody. Thank you. ありがとう。バイバイ。ありがとうございます。ありがとう。
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you again.
Thank you. Thank you, アランギさん。
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
アイサさん。
Bye.
See you.
Thank you, Nora-san.
See you.
Great job, Nora-san.
See you, everybody.
See you.
ありがとうございました。
See you, Aicha. Well done. Good
アイサ
job.
さん。
はい、ありがとう。お疲れ様です。皆さん。
これ終了のボタン押しちゃっていいですかね。いいですかじゃあ終了します。